Mike, let's talk some Philadelphia Phillies.
It's hot stove, baby.
Yes, and I need it. It's cold outside right now.
Cold.
Baby, it's cold out. The general managers have their meetings, and then they have a winter meetings right after that. They pick these warm areas. They're showing these reporters, and it looks warm to me. I start thinking baseball already.
It reminds me again that I'm not going to a bowl game this year.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, that's for a while.
Yeah,
for a while.
Yeah, that's right.
The Phillies, there's been rumors about what we all know. The third baseman, they need some outfitters, they need a reliever, a setup guy in the eighth inning. There's all these scenarios now you're reading about, and I wanted to ask you: do you have a dream team scenario? I've been sort of putting together. You know Howard's at first. You know at least at second. Rollins at short. But who's going to play third? Who's at third? Who's in the outfield? Do you have any ideas? Have some fun with this.
I hope, and I'm going to labor with this so much because I can never remember anybody's name. But the kid, the first baseman outfielder who hit all the home runs,
Darren Ruff.
I think he is coming into his age 27 season, which is the middle of the prime for a baseball player, and they should be running him out there every day next year. I think he should be part of that starting eight. So that means, to me, you have one outfielder to find. And there are a lot of potential candidates. It's going to have to be a center fielder. I think this kid that what's his name again?
Darren Ruff.
Ruff, I think he eliminates Swisher from the calculus a little bit. So that's not going to happen. So I think we're looking at a center fielder, and the names we hear are Upton's and Michael Bourne, who I think is going to be coming at a real high price. And Shane Victorino.
I do not want him.
Well, but that's a possibility.
You let him go before.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, I agree. They didn't like his attitude at the end of last season, and there's always been the old thing. If you would take Shane's heart and put it in Cole Hamels and put Cole Hamels' brain in Shane, you'd have the perfect player. But what I think they need.
Wow. Okay.
Ruff is going to be good, but I don't know if you're going to maybe platoon him. Maybe bring back Juan Pierre to be the left-handed guy in there as well with him and use him there. You're saying about center field, there's a name that's out there that plays right field, and Justin Upton, who is just getting rumored out there to be a potential trade. It'd have to be a trade to have this work. That Arizona. Here's what I think. Amaro's been talking on the phone a lot with trades, and Arizona is supposed to be trying to shop him. So I'm thinking these two were talking.
You're putting the
now, he's 25 years old. 2 years ago was fourth in the National League for MVP voting.
And he seems to me to be athletic enough to be at least a passable center fielder. So, I mean, no matter what position he's playing now, I think he's okay for a center fielder, yeah.
I still think he might be in right field, and Dom Brown might be traded in this scenario, and you still might be trying to find a center fielder, and you find somebody like somebody on the cheaper end, but an Angel Bacan, I don't think they're going to give up a first-round pick, and B.J. Upton's going to cost them a first-round pick. I think they know they need to get that farm system back in order.
Yeah.
Now, third base, I think Kevin Youkilis is going to be there on a 2-year deal because they got Kevin Franson as a backup in case Youkilis gets hurt, and they've got this guy Cody Ash, who's in the minors. It was at Reading last year, started to come on. I think he's about 2 years away.
Yeah,
I don't think they want a long-term.
So they're not going to lock up a long-term third baseman because they want to have a door open for
this
Ash.
guy.
Yeah,
and it keeps that window open longer. You start bringing in young guys.
Yeah,
and I still think Mike Adams, he was in San Diego a couple years ago, got traded to Texas, was a great setup guy. He had a bad year in Texas. He got hurt and is having surgery right now. He may come back on the cheap.
This is for the eighth inning role.
You need a setup guy. I don't think you want to keep that inside. Internally, you can keep building on a Felipe Almonte and those type of guys, but I think you need to go get somebody, a legitimate veteran who's done it. They lost so many games last year because that eighth inning got away from them.
Well, let's not forget about Ryan Madsen either as a possibility there.
Unless he wants to be a closer.
And I want to point out that their ERA, I think the second half of the year, I think I read this, their ERA was like 3. Their bullpen ERA. Their bullpen was a disaster early. It was not a disaster late. And I don't want to give up too much treasure for the bullpen, as you know, Starkey. But I don't have a problem with taking a flyer on Adams.
I just want one guy.
If he's healthy.
The rest of them can be cheap.